Good morning. This morning we're going to build a compost bin out of used pallets on Grandpa Digs It.
So we had to find the pallets. So I did what any thrifty gardener would do. I looked on Facebook Marketplace. Sure enough, plenty of companies were giving away free pallets. All you had to do is pick them up. Well, I figured these might make just the perfect material for the compost bin. Sturdy, rough-cut wood, usually hardwood, strong enough to last a few seasons out in the weather. Best of all, the price was right. Of course, you couldn't haul them in the wheelbarrow, so I fired up my trusty old pickup truck. This one was a gift from a longtime friend who heard about my new gardening hobby and gave it to me. So I loaded up a few good pallets, threw in a little elbow grease, and just like that, we had everything we needed. Simple, solid, and free. A good start to our garden project. So let's build it.
Composting is one of the best things you can give your garden. It's nature's fertilizer, rich, dark, and alive with beneficial microbes. When you add compost to your soil, you're doing a few important things at once. You're feeding your plants with slow-release nutrients. You're improving soil texture, loosening the clay, and giving structure to sand. And you're holding moisture right where the roots need it. That's especially helpful here in our hot southern summers. You can spread compost in your flower beds, vegetable gardens, and under shrubs. It's a true all-purpose booster for almost anything you grow. So how do we make compost? Well, it starts with a compost bin, and into that bin goes a mix of greens and browns. Greens are your nitrogen-rich veggie scraps, coffee grounds, green foliage, eggshells, and more. And browns are things that are carbon-rich, like dry leaves, yes, shredded paper and cardboard, and shredded pine needles. Together, they build a balanced mix of carbon and nitrogen, the fuel for composting. But not everything belongs in that compost bin. You should avoid meat, bones, dairy, pet waste, glossy paper, or diseased plants. A good rule of thumb, if it comes from the earth and it isn't too oily or animal-based, it probably belongs in your compost bin. But composting isn't just good for our gardens, it's good for the earth. Every banana peel or handful of leaves we compost is one less thing clogging up a landfill. Instead of creating methane gas, it breaks down into rich soil, completing a natural cycle that's been going on since the beginning of life. When we compost, we're recycling in the truest sense. We're helping reduce waste, improve soil health, and feed the next generation of plants, all without chemicals or waste. It's quiet, it's simple, and it's deeply satisfying. And in a world that throws so much away, composting is a small but meaningful way to give something back. So I wanted to give my compost bin a jump start. So I ordered some red I think they're called red crawlers from Jim's Worm Farm, and they just arrived about an hour ago, and it says to get them or half an hour ago, it says to get them in the ground right away. So I'll give you some instructions in here. This one came with I'm not sponsored by anybody here, but I just wanted to try this. They also give you a compost thermometer as a freebie gift. We'll make some use of that, I think. That's nice. And what else do they give you in here? Your instructions, worm advisory. Okay, your worm's been shipped in dry peat moss. They'll appear small and scrawny. Regain the original size within 2 days. So they tell you to, I've read this already, instructions here, introduce them to the new environment as soon as possible. It says immediately upon arrival, pour a half a cup of water on your worms to begin the rehydration process. So let's let's do that. Let's get some water on these, and then we'll just take them out to the compost bin, which is just about 25 feet away, and we'll put them in there and see if we can jump start our compost bin with some worms. I have no idea what they look like. They come in a unusual looking, well, little pouch here, kind of like a real fine burlap or something. Now, I didn't realize I'd have to cut this cable tie off, but I guess they packed them in there pretty good. I like this little pouch here, and so this is because these are used to the earth. I've been wanting to do this. Hopefully it aids in our project, but oh yeah, the light shining in on them. So I'm going to estimate this half a cup of water. Put this in here. And that's about a half a cup. Let's see if we can actually see these on camera inside here. See a little view? There's actually worms in there, and they're alive. Now, I ordered these on Wednesday, and I got them on Friday morning, so I think that's pretty good. I think they came from somewhere up in the Northeast. So let's take them out and put them in the compost bin. And we'll take our Uncle Jim's Worm Farm worms, and we're going to just dump them all right here. Shake them out of this bag. Oh, they're beautiful. And they're alive. I'm sure there's a few more in there. I don't know that you'd want to reuse that bag for a lunch bucket or anything like that, but okay. Well, let's cover them up a little bit. It says they kind of like to live in a colony or something like that. I forget exactly what they said, but you start them off and they'll move around and start our own little colony of worms. So let's be sure that they've got a lot of moisture. It's going to rain tonight, so that'll help, but I want them to feel comfortable in their new home. Uncle Jim's worms. Well, we had a nice Mother's Day dinner last night, and I guess I wanted to show you all what some of the stuff that's left over we're going to be putting in the compost bin. Peppers, a couple different kinds of peppers, some onions, some lettuce. The worms are really going to like that. We'll really get this this compost bin jump started. I keep this in the refrigerator. This is where we put our coffee grounds, filters and all. The filters act as some of the browns, and you might see some eggshells down in there. Understand they're not sure why, but they're extremely good for the compost bin. So anyway, we're gonna put this in the compost bin and see if we can continue to jumpstart that, enriching that soil. I could already see some worm activity in here. Let's put these down in here. Feeding the worms in the compost bin. The bin's built, the scraps are in, and now it's just a matter of time. I'll be turning this pile regularly and letting nature do what it does best, transforming everyday waste into something good for the garden. Thanks for coming along with me as I built this bin and started this composting journey. There's a lot more to learn and a lot more to grow. Until next time, take care, keep digging, and I'll see you in the next video on Grandpa Digs It.